All right, let's do this. If you've ever thought about learning to code, well, you've come to the right spot. We're going to spend the next 5 minutes, just 5 minutes, breaking down exactly how you can get started with Python. I'm talking right here, right now, no fluff, no nonsense, just the absolute essentials to get you writing your first lines of code.
So why Python? I mean, out of all the languages out there, why this one? Well, it's pretty simple. It's famous for being the easiest programming language to learn. Seriously. The code looks a lot like plain English, which is a huge plus. And get this, it's also the most popular language in the world right now. We're talking the powerhouse behind giants like Instagram and Netflix. So yeah, it's a pretty fantastic place to start.
And hey, if you need a little extra motivation, how about this number? According to Glassdoor, the average starting salary for a brand new Python developer in the US is $64,000. So learning this stuff is not just for fun, it has some very real, very tangible payoffs. Okay, let's get you geared up. Every coder's journey, and I mean every single one, starts with setting up your tools. But don't think of this as a chore. Oh no. Think of it like you're packing your bag for a really cool adventure. It's super quick, it's easy, and it's your first official step into this world. And I'm not kidding. It really is this simple. First, you're going to head over to python.org and download the installer. Now, during the installation, there's one super important step. Make sure you check the box that says Add Python to Path. Trust me on this one. All it does is make it so your computer can find Python no matter what folder you're in. Super handy. Finally, you'll want to install something called an IDE. That stands for Integrated Development Environment, but really just think of it as a superpowered notepad that's built just for writing code. PyCharm is a fantastic one to start with, and it's free. And boom, that's it. You're ready to go.
All right, setup is done. Now for the fun part. Let's actually dive into the code itself. We're about to cover the absolute fundamental building blocks, the core ideas that make Python so incredibly powerful and, well, so easy to get.
First things first, variables. Okay, what's a variable? The absolute easiest way to think about it is like a box, a container. You can put something inside that box, like a name, a number, whatever, and give the box a label. From that point on, whenever you use the label, you're really using the thing inside the box. Simple as that.
And this is where Python is just awesome. It makes this stuff so simple. You can create a container for pretty much any kind of data. So if it's text, like a name, we call that a string. If it's a whole number, like your age, we call that an integer. And if it's a simple yes or no, a true or false, we call that a Boolean. The coolest part? Python just figures it out. You don't have to tell it what kind of data it is. It's just smart like that. Super straightforward. Okay, now for a really cool feature when you're working with text. Let's say you have a word stored in a variable. Python lets you slice it up and grab just the pieces you want. You just tell it where to start and where to stop, and bam, you've got a smaller piece of that text. It's kind of like highlighting a chunk of a word with your mouse cursor.
And you want to see something mind-blowing? Check this out. It's one of my favorite Python tricks. If you ever want to reverse a string, any string at all, you just use this little bit of code right here. That's it. One tiny command, and it flips the whole thing backwards. This is a perfect example of what makes Python so cool. It's just elegant.
All right, this next part, this is where your code really starts to get smart. We're about to give our programs the ability to actually think, to make decisions and repeat actions all on their own. This is the stuff that makes your code dynamic and, actually useful.
So, how do you make a program decide something? With an if statement. It's exactly what it sounds like. You basically tell the computer, if this one thing is true, like, say, the temperature is between 0 and 30 degrees, then do this other thing. The code will only run if that condition is true. See? Super simple, right?
Okay, next up, loops. Loops are all about doing things over and over again. Now, there are two main kinds. A while loop is perfect when you don't know how many times you need to do something. It's like telling your code, hey, keep doing this thing while this other condition is true. But then you have the for loop. You use that when you know exactly how many times you want to repeat an action, like, say, 10 times. So, the main takeaway is this. While is for an unknown number of times, and for is for a limited, specific count.
And just like that, you've got it. You've actually just grasped the absolute basics of Python. I mean, think about it. You know how to get it set up, you know what variables are, and you know how to make your code make decisions. The path forward from here, it is wide open.
So, what's next on the adventure? Well, you'll start learning about things like functions, which are like little reusable blocks of code.
You get into dictionaries and tuples for organizing all sorts of complex data. And you'll even learn how to build real apps with a graphical user interface, with actual windows and buttons you can click. Everything you just learned today, that's the launchpad for all that cool stuff and so much more.
So there you have it. That was your first 5 minutes with Python. Your coding journey has officially begun. Now there's only one question left, and it's the most exciting one of all. With these brand new tools at your fingertips, what are you going to build